radiologists are tied for the fourth most burnout specialty out of the 29 specialties behind urology and neurology. But some things come to my mind, and I think they are sort of the variables that we can work with and increase the productivity of the radiologists while decreasing stress level. Ergonomics is basically how to optimize your work environment. And if you have inadequate body postures that can cause neck pain, back pain, and I believe that's a big hindering block to increase the productivity. And in the z-axis, it depends on two important factors. One is resting point of accommodation, one is resting point of divergence, which roughly comes down to about 20 to 40 inches. So when I did all the calculations based upon the x-axis in the literature, the y-axis, and the z-axis, it came down to two important numbers. One was, if a person is sitting 20 inches from the screen, what should be the optimal diagonal size of the monitor? And it came to a number of 34 inches. And the second number that I came to, if you're sitting 40 inches from the workstation, what is the diagonal size that we can accommodate without causing stress to your body, or to eyes, I should say? It's about 67 inches. Do you believe there's room for even more visual expansion? It shows 50-50%, I guess 50% of people want more monitors. And in total, about 70% of the respondents believe that if you have they need at least 3 or more diagnostic monitors, and it will significantly increase their productivity.
This is another excellent diagram by Kuldeep, and it's showing us that there needs to be a distance about as much from the monitors that's fairly similar. The problem is when we go this way and turn to the right, following happens. And any of you who've done even a single monitor work looking to one side will have neck pain. It becomes prohibitive when you have this much real estate transverse from right to left. My question, how do I not turn my head and still work? Here's the answer. You need to let a chair desk do all the turning. Here he is. Now, if you notice, he did not move his body at all. What was happening was his head, his neck, his shoulders, and his arms were all set. His chair desk system moved him. So Elliot, there's a huge group of people doing this. I want to highlight Phil Baker, who is a busy radiologist, and he's a PhD bioengineer who immediately, with me, took the baton and went forward and built a Sally chair system. This is his system. We had a prize-winning modification with a hydraulic system in a standard chair at the New York Informatics meeting. I want to build a chair that will do this for everyone else so they're not complaining, so they can take advantage of the real estate. I'm not sure, we don't have any sound. So you'll just see me moving and I'll narrate. If you notice, you can see me rotate without any motion of my head and neck. He's showing the fact that when you move around, notice his head, neck, and torso are not moving. And in fact, he's getting older, I'm getting older. We can't do the job anymore without something like this. And he feels extremely strongly, he's the fourth author on our project, that this is mandatory, that we must figure out how to do this to survive the ergonomic onslaught. This is one exam. This is another exam. Could have been a third, a fourth exam. These scout images here are being used to register the exams to each other. The new software will do this automatically. So now I've actually swapped it and made new and old soft tissue window, new and old coronal, new and old bone window, new and old bone window. And these are stages of the protocol that you can sequence. I can see 4 exams completely without setting them up. So that's key. If you don't know how to do that, you haven't mastered your protocol. And if you do that with 4, you can do it with 6 monitors. It's even better. So the only way we're going to make it better is to do less. And Elliot's going to explain to us in a moment how a lot of this stuff will be taken away. But in the meantime, there's stuff that we're doing that we shouldn't do. So until we make that go away, I'm going to tell you how to survive. But that's a broken system. So get rid of the broken system as soon as you can I will show you Phil, who told me that he did 1 million clicks in a year and his mouse traveled 6 miles in a year. So one point in general, everybody's got their own recipe. One point in general is you can auto hotkey and map anything you want anywhere. But the key is unload your right hand. It's just a navigational pointer, and then use your left hand to do everything else. This is Phil Baker, the PhD biomedical engineer, president of a huge group, excellent man, SIMM member who took this with me a long time ago. But here he said, no wonder my wrist hurts. 6.2 miles of mouse movement and 1 million clicks. That's like traversing 6 barcode monitors in landscape in a minute. The main thing, and I'll get to the point here, is to do use speech recognition with Dragon and execute computer macro script. All the touching will go away. It'll be speaking. I'm just demonstrating voice activated commands. 4, 2, 1, bone, lung, brain, stroke, subdural. Just an example of speech enabling all of the normal mechanical keystrokes in the PAC system. As far as the audio components go, we need to leverage the audio out and the audio in. The mic out is, we have a demo here. Please see Dr. Prokhorov tomorrow. He can show you his little box that we've devised. Takes any audio output and channels it in real time to anything without touching anything. And that gets rid of a lot of the ergonomic stress. And also, please throw out your mic. You don't need to hold the mic. It's going to be mounted and you don't do anything. The sound space in, nobody gives a crap about what we hear. Mostly it's noise, and we have to mitigate noise. You can use different headset devices to minimize noise. And in a work environment where you're pedal to the metal, you've got to control the noise.
Well, thanks. It's my pleasure to sort of take us home with regard to some future directions and maybe some out-of-the-box thinking as far as next opportunities. And so we created a augmented reality version of this, looking at using the Microsoft HoloLens, which is now sort of older technology, and the potential for custom hanging protocols, limitless monitors. If you want 1 or 2, that's great. If you want a larger number, that's great. You have full capability to be able to determine dynamically exactly what setup that you want and to experiment potentially with different setups. The challenge with today's, even in 2022, display technology is we still have bulky head-mounted displays, but they're getting better. Handheld, lightweight, and head-mounted displays are really interesting. And they're really fascinating future developments in display technologies with photons scanned into the eye. And there's some really interesting developments in those. And then next generation, 10 to 15 years perhaps, the potential for a contact lens. And what they're able to do is simultaneously be able to access a virtual reality room. You can see their avatars here. And that is promising a significantly higher resolution headset and greater performance than we have for the Oculus 2 or a Meta 2 gaming set. So is it possible that we could take what his scribes do and be able to simulate those things that his scribes are doing? And so I believe that AI will allow us to eventually be able to do that with smarter hanging protocols, images concatenated into a single series, the ability to take a report and summarize it into an impression. AI software and natural language software and products that are out there already allow us to do many of the functions that these scribes are doing. John, please, I'd love to hear your impression because you were advocating an 8-monitor physical setup. So please, I'd love to hear your perspective on that as well.
Just the point, it's such an important point. It doesn't matter whether it's virtual or physical. If you're set up like Harrison Ford, your body is not moved. There's no motion at all. So except for the device you're in. Your legs are moving. There's no neck moving. So that's a
Why is
non-issue.
that? You've got a chair and table that
You're-
allow you.
I'll
stay
just show you. Here I
relatively
am. Here I am. The thing is moving me around. My upper torso is not doing anything. So whether I'm moving or the surround is moving, it's the same. There is no motion.